Hey folks, so welcome to my review of the TRN ST5. They are a hybrid, it states there, 4 balanced armatures and 1 dynamic driver and an aluminium magnesium housing. So it's very similar to the BAX, which is a lot more expensive than this. That's what they look like, as you'll see in a bit. And yeah, as usual, full disclaimer is I'd like to thank Linsol for sending me this sample, so thank you very much. I was not paid to do this video and all thoughts and opinions are my own. And as of right now, I have actually not tried these. So yeah, let's see what's in the box. I've just took the actual front one off just to save a bit of time. So let's see what these bad boys look like. So yeah, they look very similar to the BAX, especially on the inner part. So it looks very similar. Very good build quality. Some vents there. Yes, the build seems very good. Obviously, they're a newer connector, which is compatible with KZ cables. So if you need to change them over or anything like that, obviously a lip on the nozzle there. Yeah, so not too bad. Kind of subtle, which I do like. Put them in there. Just some paperwork. It's inspection qualification. That's it. So obviously the usual stuff in there. So let's see what we get in here. I think these come now with a different kind of connectors or something. So a lot of goodies here. So let's see what we get. So I think it comes with a kind of modular cable, so you can swap the 2.5, I think 3.5 and 4.4. I think. So yeah, I've only got the one out, but clear kind of silicone there. That's one. These are probably similar, just black. Yeah. Very soft, so I'll have to see which is the better pick. So let's have a look at the cable. So yeah, that's what it looks like. So obviously it's the 2-pin. And yes, modular cable. So it's cool that they've included the 3 different ends. Obviously I'll have a quick look now. The rest of the cable looks normal from what KZ and TRN normally make. But good to see the different kind of connector there. So let's just pick this one. Because 2.5 seems to be less of a thing. So yeah, here's 4.4. That's quite cool. Good to see that at this kind of price point. Normally things like this are on way more expensive kind of stuff. So yeah, 2.5. Obviously this should be the 3.5. So yeah, 3.5. So yeah, obviously going to spend some time with these, see what this system works like with this cable, and yeah, it should be okay. Good to see this kind of setup. So yeah, I'm going to spend some time with these now and obviously do my impressions and then graph them at the end and just yeah, see you in the future. Yeah, so welcome to my review section of the TRN ST5. I thought I'd show you what the cable looks like in use. So obviously that's what it's like with a connector, 3.5, and that's what it looks like it's with them plugged in. Obviously this is 2-pin, I think it's the QDC fitment. But, oops, wait for the camera to focus. And that's what it looks like. So let's take these off. They come off easy as you can see. So yeah, let's just talk about build quality, shall we? What's it here? Yeah, very similar to the BAX, like on the internal part. I can't really fault it. I think they've done a great job. It doesn't like when the light hits the finish, but yeah, good build quality. So straight into comfort. Comfort on these is pretty good. It seems to pirouette more on like this section. The rest of the shell doesn't seem to do much. I really had no issues. I've tried better, and I also tried a lot worse. So it's kind of average to good kind of fit. Not the best, but I was actually quite happy with it. So yeah, I was just saying really about that. So power and sensitivity. I found these quite easy to power, to be honest. I had no issues. I tried in a few different audio adapters, and on my topping gear, you don't need any. Topping gear is like way overkill for this, but I was happy with it. Sounded like on all. Again, no problems at all. Sometimes you get hybrids, which can be kind of hard to power. These aren't, so not much to say really. So let's talk about isolation. I think the isolation was actually okay, not the best, because again it's not a sealed unit. You can see the vent just there, so it is okay, nothing amazing, but obviously there's the vent there as well. They're not bad, not great, it's just average, shall we say, really. So imaging and stage, I found the imaging it was okay. I've tried a lot worse, and I've had some better. It was more than sufficient. It's not perfect, but it's enough for, well, from what I've tried, it seems fine really. Not much to shout about it. And stage, I think the stage is actually pretty decent. Now these do have a armature in the nozzle. I don't know how that affects the tuning, but you can sometimes tell, but I'll get into that in a bit. But it was okay. But anyway, let's get on to what we're here for, is sound. Now there's the ST2. These are much better than the ST2, which was a one dynamic driver and one balanced armature. I no longer have those, but this is you can tell from the tuning it's better. Anyway, I'll overlay the graph now. Yeah, as you can see, maybe you could call it a V. But yeah, the sub bass does roll off a bit. These, I don't think they sound as bassy as it looks on the graph. It sounds a touch softer. Obviously they're not flat bass, they're not neutral, but I don't think it sounds as bassy as it looks. But the DD of the views seems decent enough. Again, it's not the best that I don't think I've tried, but it's nowhere near the worst. I thought it's fine. It works well for electronic music, because you can see that the bump in the treble and the bass. I was quite happy with it. Again, nothing to shout about, but more than good enough for what the actual price. But yeah, DD was decent. Now mids, so the lower bit does bleed a bit. I don't mind that at all. I've said this about 10 million times now, but I like how it gives things a bit more body down there. I was quite happy with it. It's a bit V'd, as you can see, but it's not overly so, is probably the best way to say. So it's a more of a gentle V instead of like some crazy V's that you used to get. It's more rare, the V shape is, of that kind of caliber, but you could probably call it a V if you want. But yeah, it's a bit skipped. You want a bit more neutral, but it was okay. The details are there, but it's a bit pushed back, but it is what it is. Now the upper part you can see is elevated. Now vocals are actually quite decent. They did sound a little bit artificial, maybe is the way of saying it, but there isn't, according to TRN's kind of promotion material, there is a balanced armature in the nozzle from what it looks like. Now I typically don't do that because it can be harsh. Now KZ stopped doing that a long time ago. I think the ZSX had it, and the CCA C12. That's not really what I prefer. When it's normally, like majority of the time, when it's in the body, it's a bit more refined, shall we say. But yeah, if female vocals actually decent, not the best. Again, nowhere near the worst. They were more than good enough for what they are. Now the treble, these aren't what I expected. I was expecting, from when they did that the V90 a few years ago, that was big V shape. Now this is not big V shape. I didn't know what to expect because I saw no graphs. I had no idea what these was like. But yeah, the treble, it can be a touch bright, but obviously it depends on your volume as well. So, and also one thing I forgot to show in the unboxing, it does compare with a pair of foam tips. Sorry I missed that. It was in the bottom of the box, and foam tips do help treble, if that's kind of for you. And they do actually have a dip. So I had no sibilance, like on the 5K, dips instead of being elevated. I like what they've done there. I think the Mangird tees, which are a lot more expensive than these, the Mark 1 and the 2, they did the same thing, is they dip in that part of the treble, and I like that because it makes it smoother, but you still have all the details. This has kind of done the same thing, but yeah, a little bit further up. But instrument separation was good. Again, not the best, but again, more than good enough for what these cost. I was quite happy what they are. They do sound at times can be bright. Now, I presume it's like the 6 to 8K, you can see it doesn't drop off. So, and that 8K peak, now, it doesn't normally affect me, but it does have there may be a real peak there. I'll have to have more testing, but these definitely are on the brighter side. And the treble doesn't roll off. So they do actually have quite good extension, surprisingly. I was expecting like these to drop off a cliff, but they don't. But yeah, they are actually a lot more extended sounding than I expected. And yeah, so I won't go on too long, but conclusion. Do I actually recommend these? Yes, for what you're getting. Very good build, 3 pairs of tips, a modular cable, a good fit, and actually a decent sound. Again, depends if that kind of sound suits what you like. But I was actually, yeah, they're better than I expected, because sometimes TRN, some of the stuff they make is not great. But these are actually not bad at all. But yeah, they're better than I expected. At least they've got the full package. They've got everything. So decent cable, modular cable, 3 pairs of tips, good build, good fit, and a decent sound. So they are actually overall, I'm actually quite happy with them. Yeah, the only thing that I'd say is another negative is that Treble tonality. You can tell it's BA. Nothing you can do about that. Some more expensive models don't sound like armatures, even though they are armatures, like the RSV. They use some magic to do that. But anyway, yeah, but not a bad set, better than I expected. So yeah, as usual, like I say, if you know anything in particular about these, just let me know in the comments. Yeah, so yeah, thanks for watching and take care, and I'll see you in the next video.